What's going on, everyone? This is Adam and Craig with Grandstand Golf. In this show, we're doing a PGA DFS Picks for the 2020 RSM Classic. We have no Masters hangover here. We're about 3 hours south, still in Georgia at the RSM Classic. Where are we, Craig? We're Sea Island Golf Club. What do you think of the RSM Classic field? What's your first thoughts?
Well, I don't know. I'm excited to be back in one of these smaller, lesser known names. A bunch of, you really have to dig deep through the field.
Right.
Right now we're looking at our top picks here, but we'll be dropping the sleeper video soon. It's a march to the coast from Augusta. We are on a barrier island. Classic.
Yeah. We got two courses here. So we got Seaside course, which will be one of the first two rounds for these guys, and then Saturday, Sunday, and then we have the Plantation course. Both quite short. You got a par 70, 7,000 Seaside, and then par 72, 7,000.
Yeah. It's Davis Love III's hometown. This is where his dad was the head pro, and he's got tons, he's helped to build this course into what it is today. The Seaside course is really the one that we've seen a lot more through the years.
Right.
But yeah, as we get into our picks here, I think it's just there's so many of these courses on these barrier islands along the southeast coast of the States that I think that they have a lot of similarities between them.
And there seems to be a lot of kind of local ties here. Either guys like went to Georgia, or they grew up near here, or they now have since established kind of a residence here. There's a lot. It's a big field.
Huge golf culture down there. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you said, Oceanside Link Style, redesigned in 1998 by Tom Fazio. Previous winners, Tyler Duncan last year, Charles Howell III, and Austin Cook before that. Weather. Again, Oceanside, so the primary defense is going to be wind. It doesn't look that bad, but it's consistent all week. The highest looks like on Thursday. We could have some showers as well, but nothing too serious. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, kind of partly cloudy. Winds, again, 11 to 50 miles per hour. So it's not going to slap these guys in the face. It's just going to be there, I think.
Yeah. Have you thought about becoming a weatherman? Because you just nailed it. I think I have nothing to add there.
I think there's something about the youngest sibling becoming a weatherman, so maybe that's in my future.
It's too cliche, or okay?
It's too cliche. All right, let's jump into it then. Let's go to our picks.
Yep.
My first pick, Tyrrell Hatton, 10,400 on DraftKings. He's fourth on FanDuel. He's second, 11,800, coming off that missed cut at Augusta. I think people are going to see kind of, the Webbs up here, the other kind of stars up here, and go them, and they might avoid Hatton because Hatton just recently burned them. There's a lot of recency bias in DFS. So I like Hatton as a good starting point. Hasn't played here before, but should fit nicely. He's got good proximity stats. Approach stats, but proximity is kind of key here that I'm keen in on. Driving accuracy, he's good, kind of ranks 60th kind of the last couple of years. And then link style, obviously European guy. He's won on link style courses before. That should translate to Seaside as well. So
he'll know how to get from one hole to the next, so that's perfect.
Exactly. So looking at his last 5 events, he had good form going to Augusta, and that's, I think, why he burned a lot of people. But 3 top 10s with a win. He's still playing well. It's just a miscut. His major record, I talked about it on the podcast, he just wasn't good in 2020.
Yeah,
we got a weaker field.
Sorry to cut in there. I totally agree. I think that he is, because of last week, there's going to be a swing away from him. And I'm always happy to take, when someone's form is really bad, I agree, you do want to start to pump the brakes, but his form has been good. It just might seem like it's worse than it is because of last week.
You can almost excuse people for one tournament, especially if it's a really tough tournament. Like if they missed a cut of the U.S. Open or at Augusta or something like that, you kind of give them a one freebie there. But if it's long term, then you get a little bit worse.
You brought it up on the podcast. I think, to me, his miscut at Augusta potentially means more for me the next time we're going to Augusta, and the next time, because his major record has been a bit spotty this year, and so it means more for that in my eyes than it does for this week at the RSM.
Yeah, I don't think his ownership is going to be super, super low. I just think compared to possibly the guy you're talking to next, it might be a little bit lower.
Yeah. Speaking of the guy I'm talking about next, might as well jump into it. Webb Simpson. He's going to be high owned. He's the most expensive guy, 11,200 on DraftKings, 12,000 on FanDuel. Obviously, first on both. And I think so. To me, why do I pick him? He's first. He's going to be high owned. I think he should basically be in his own tier this week. I don't think there's anyone else who is the caliber of that he is and is playing in the form that he is. 7 straight top 20 finishes. Right. And those are not fields like this. Those are fields
US Open.
Yeah, the Masters, CJ Zos, like it's big fields. And since the restart, he's 10 of 13 in top 20s. That includes a win.
That's crazy.
That includes, I want to say, 6 top 10s. So he really, like, you can't find a whole lot of reasons not to like Webb. I think the ownership is the potential one. But first off, his course history. He's been awesome at this course. If he gets into a playoff, you might not want to count on him winning it because he has been in 2 playoffs here and he's lost them both. But I'll still take a guy who's after 72 holes, who's one of the guys who's got the lowest score on his card.
Exactly.
He's got a third. So the last 2 years, he went to a playoff last year and lost. He was third the year before. That's just it's the type of consistency. I think Webb, I was talking about the barrier islands with these kind of courses. I think Webb loves these type of courses. This is, he won at Harbour Town earlier this year. I think these, you don't have to be crazy long, but the real precision type of play is rewarded. And so
exactly,
I just think it's perfect for him. And last thing, so, I mean, when someone's going to be highly owned like he is, I'm fine with that. I'm going to still try to be overweight, if you're saying, okay, so he's going to be 40, 50, I don't know what kind of percent ownership he'll have. I would rather be 100% ownership of him than 0%. And I'll just take him everywhere and diversify everything else. I mean, I'm not going to be. I'm going to have a few tickets without him, but I still want to try to get overweight on Webb. Yeah.
No, it seems like a slam dunk. And maybe that's why it concerns me a little bit, because it seems too right in your face, too obvious, kind of.
And that's the thing. Ultimately, you can make a game theory case either way. You can say, get your ownership low on him and hope that he is not valuable at his price. Or you can say, get higher so that you have more leverage on the people who also chose to play him and you have more potential diversification options.
Yeah. The guy I really like, I like Webb, but the guy I really like is Russell Henley. DraftKings, 10,100. He's 5th. FanDuel, 11,400. He's 6th. Craig, I'm going to give you a little sneak peek here. I think he's going to win. I think he's going to be my one and done selection.
Ooh.
I think everything just matches up. I mean, kind of like Webb, but I really like Henley here. The more and more I look into it, it just kind of seems to be checking all those boxes. I mean, you were on him before the Masters. I think we all wanted to see him there, but unfortunately he didn't make the 2020 November edition, but he'll be there at 2021. He's just playing really good golf right now. Mm-hmm. So on our Grandstand Golf DFS model, he ranks 2nd on our website. You can check that out. Last 3 months, looking at how he compares with the rest of the field, he's first strokes gain approach plus 1.2, first strokes gain tee to green plus 1.83. I mean, Georgia Bulldog grew up here, roots here. He won the SEC championship at Seaside in 2010. Like, it just seems like his form is excellent. He might be playing the best golf he's ever played. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's definitely getting close there. And the fact that how much he likes it here, his roots here, I don't think there's anything bad about Henley. You're going to be overweight on Webb. I'm going to be all in on Henley this week.
Yeah, I would have potentially plugged him in here. I saw you had already chosen him as a pick. I really like him as well. The model this week weighted strokes gain approach quite heavily, and we've spoken about it before. He's one of the best at that. Yeah, I don't think I have a whole lot more to say. I like it a lot.
You already burned your one and done on him.
I know. Right? I know. Okay, my next one here, Harris English. He comes in at 9,700 on DraftKings, 7th overall there, and FanDuel, he's 11,000, ninth in pricing there. For me, this is a bit of a form over history play. He does have not the best history at this course, but if you look at, if you do go to the website and look at the model that we build, you can see his actual strokes gain numbers along with each year. So like if you do look back, he wasn't playing as well in those years as he is now. Exactly. So I'm okay with his history at this course being bad when he was not as good as he is now. And sure. And so 100%. Really, last 7 starts, he's got 3 top 10s. Since the restart, we've spoken at length about this. 10 of 13 top 30s. So it's crazy consistent. I think he is going to pop and get a win sometime. If he keeps playing, especially in these weaker field events, I think he is going to pop and get a win out of them. But even if not, I'll be happy with a top 5, obviously. So he's got you're talking about tee to green with Russell Henley, and when you look at Harris English, he has had a very good short game for years, but really the thing that has made him good in these last, since the start of the 2020 season. Now this is a mistake here, but since the start of the 2020 season, his strokes gain has gone up. Strokes gain tee to green has gone up almost a half a stroke or more. He, full 2019-2020 season, he's 6th in this field for tee to green. With his short game, that means he is potentially behind Webb. He might be the best player. Now that said, I really do like Henley a lot as well. But if you look back over the 12 months since he's been playing really good, he's positive in every strokes gain category. And the one thing he does have over Henley, so strokes gain total over the past 12 months, he is 2nd. So he does nip Henley just barely there, and it's just because he's been putting a bit better than Henley has.
Another, I think with Russell Henley, another Georgia Bulldog in Harris English. So, I completely agree with you that you kind of throw course history out when they're not the same golfer that they are now. So, another guy I really like, and below 10K, that's nice.
Yep.
Going from Georgia Bulldog to Kent State and Canada. Corey Connors, he's my third and final DFS pick here. 8,900 on DraftKings, he's 13th. 10,300 on FanDuel, he's 16th. Kind of just above average on both. Maybe a good second piece for a balanced lineup or a third piece for stars and scrubs. Craig, he's just hot right now. I mean, tee to green, he is just playing so well right now. It's hard to find anything you don't like about him, but 4 top 25s in his last 5 tournaments. That includes last week, 10th at the Masters. Before that, 8th at the Zozo. Those are really stacked fields. I mean, his Masters finish was incredible. He earned himself another entry into the 2021 Masters. Looking at his complete game, ranks 10th in the field in strokes gained tee to green. Actually kind of surprised me that I thought he'd be a little bit higher, but I think he's just kind of playing maybe not as the easy kind of schedule as some of these other guys.
Well, and I think if you extended that beyond 3 months, I think there's some people who would be high there, but they're not going to be able to keep that up. Whereas I think if you went back further, he would move up in that 10th to probably in the top 5.
He's played here a couple times before. I think he has somewhere in the mid-20s finish, a mid-30s finish. But his scoring average is 68.125. So that's good, but he's also a way better golfer here. So if that's kind of like his floor as kind of what we saw Corey Connors in 2018, 2019, early 2020, I think this version of Corey Connors is way better. So I think kind of like you're mentioning before, I think with the form of the golfer with still like okay or pretty good course history. I think it's going to all come together for Connors, and he's going to have a nice high finish here.
Yeah, I think the one potential issue with Connors, and it's the opposite of Hatton, is that he did flash last week, and
For sure.
I mean, I had him in DFS lineups, and he performed well. So whenever someone does perform well on your DFS, he's a lot cheaper last week, and so he might get that little bit of a recency bump. But that said, with how good he is as a ball striker, I'm happy to plug him in. I think it ultimately, as always with Connors, it comes down to the putter. If he can be an average putter, he's going to perform well for you. If he can be a good putter, then he's got a good chance to win the thing. It's just you have to avoid the times that he's a bad putter.
And I think that finish at the Masters is a balance as well, because I feel like he is kind of coming off a high there. There's potential for a quick letdown. He's maybe not as he's just riding a high. He might not be as singular focus as he maybe would be before to try to move up his ranking or his FedEx or whatever it is.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. I like it though. I like the play.
Yeah.
My last one here, Talor Gooch comes in 7,900 on DraftKings at 24th price there, and FanDuel he's 9,800, 22nd there. This is a bit of a different one for me. Typically, I'm not a huge ride the hot hand type.
Right.
But, the reason that I am kind of looking at riding the hot hand here is I think it's more of a case, Talor Gooch is 29 years old. I think it's more he's sort of establishing where he is in terms of the PGA Tour field. I think, everyone takes different times to progress. I think he is sort of figuring out that he can be in that maybe sneaking into the top 50.
Right.
But definitely comfortably inside the top 100. Last three starts, he's got 2 top 5s. Those are in strong fields at the Houston, and I believe it was CJ Cup. And second, so in this field, he is the second in strokes gained total over the past month. So
that's hot hand.
That's exactly what that is. But if you look back further, over 12 months, he's positive in every strokes gained category. So he's a balanced player. Yeah. I do love that, because it means that it's not, he's not someone who you're going to wait for the bottom to fall out of one aspect of the game. The problem is
safe floor.
It gives you a safe floor. It doesn't necessarily give you the he's one of the best off the tee, or he's one of the best putters, or anything like that. It means that, but I still think you still get a good ceiling, because they can have those weeks where everything goes well.
Absolutely, 100%.
And last thing here, he does have a course history that he has missed a couple cuts here, but he was 23rd last year. And so as I was saying, if he is a golfer that's getting better every year, then that's a good finish. And then if he can continue to progress, and I think he's playing better than he was last year. So, we should expect that that's about, he does have a good feel for the course.
Absolutely. No, I like it at that price point too. I mean, hot hand for sure.
Yeah,
definitely. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe below. We got a ton of content coming out this week. Already out. We have our Masters recap pod. We went long and deep, kind of going into the Masters. It's really fun. So check that out wherever you get your podcast. We've also already done our European Tour bets and DFS picks for the Joburg Open. So make sure to check that out on YouTube. And then upcoming for the RSM Classic. DFS model already up on our website. Check it out, grandstandgolf.com. Sleepers video, we're going to be dropping in probably 6, 7, 8 hours. So it might be out already, but it's going to be on YouTube as well. And then as always, our live Twitch show, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Anything I forgot, Craig?
Yeah, no, just on that last one, I had a real hard time deciding between Talor Gooch and Doc Redman is at 8,000. And I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that I bring up Doc Redman, it seems like every week on this show, I love his value. So, there's a lot of guys that ultimately coming up with only 3 guys each here to pick is not easy. And there's going to be a lot more guys than that in our player pools. So that's the perfect time to come and chat about players you like. And just, it's a conversation, and it's awesome. So,
absolutely.
Check it out. We'll see you there.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Good luck. See you guys.